Yo, what up YouTube? Gonna make a new video, so I'm going for a drive. Like I said, the earlier video currently got 15,900 miles. So not a whole lot of miles. Kinda, but not always driving it all the time. But let's go for a little drive. It's been a while. O'clock in the afternoon. About 50 degrees outside, I want to say, maybe a little bit colder. So let's see, where do I start? I've now owned the car for about one year and I believe 5 months. I think by January it'll be a year and a half. So in that time I've had no problems. Car's been doing great. Always running good. You know, getting the oil changed all the time. You know, on I would say every 4,000 to 5,000 miles, maybe about 5,000 depending on how I drive it. Sometimes they say you should change your oil a little bit sooner if you're hard on your engine, but for the most part I would say every 4,000 or 5,000 miles. Overall, very happy with it. You know, like I said, very reliable, always quick. Have not got a tune yet, but that's on my list of things to do. So I'm going to drive on these back roads and hopefully get some good footage and some pulls, and I guess we'll go on from there. After being winter again, I almost forgot how hard it is to drive this thing when the engine's cold. Like seriously, like to shift this thing smoothly when the engine's cold, it's like retardedly hard to do. So usually in the winter time, I will at least let it run for 2 or 3 minutes just to kind of get up to some kind of operating temperature. But when the engine's cold and everything's all stiff, it's hard to shift smoothly. So it was a big reminder when that happened. As for getting the winter tires on, main thing you'll notice is the ride is softer, and also the handling is also reduced because winter tires have a softer compound, so obviously you do lose the handling. However, what made me switch was about, I would say, mid-November. I want to say it was 45, 50 degrees, and I was taking a turn probably a little bit faster than I should have, and I totally felt the car slide. And this was with all the things off, the ESP and the traction. I had everything off, and then I was like, holy crap, and then I kind of forgot that, you know, the summer tires, when you get below 50 degrees, you tend to lose traction. So right when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm getting the winter tires on. So definitely did that for good reason. So yeah, it definitely helps. Of course, in the snow, obviously, it's a big help. So yeah. As for some races I had, probably the most competitive race I ever had, which was kind of surprised me, is I did not know this was a Ford Taurus SHO, the the newer model, the twin turbo V6. But there was this guy in the Taurus kind of tailgating me. He was all blacked out. First I thought it was a cop because it was kind of like the police interceptor Taurus. Anyway, so he goes to pass me, and I was in second gear. I gunned it, and we were like neck and neck for a good amount. And then I want to say he probably started pulling on me because I had to slow down due to the traffic. But yeah, I would say the new SHO, the newest model, I don't know, 2010 I believe is when it came out. That puts up a good fight for this car. I looked up the stats of that car. It's 0 to 60 is I think it's about 5 or 5.1 seconds, and the quarter mile is pretty pretty competitive for this car. I think the quarter mile on the new SHO is, I believe it's, I want to say 13.9 or 14, just somewhere close to the Subaru's time from car and driver, which was 13.6, which I was never able to replicate. But yeah, so it was a good race. All I was basically trying to say was the new SHO Taurus is a pretty good fight, both off the line and in the mid-range. They're pretty equal in the acceleration. Now that car's got 365 horsepower, but the issue is the weight of that car. I'm gonna say that car's like 4,300 pounds, maybe a little bit less. And so, you know, it's got all that horsepower and torque, but it just weighs a lot more. So that's why it kind of has a disadvantage when going against this car. But it was fun, so that's all I wanted to say. And then some other races I've had, you know, just random cars, the V6 Camaro and a couple Mustangs. No, I've never raced actual GT like the 5.0, which would actually smoke this car. But a couple other races that weren't really worth mentioning. I'm kind of on the main road right now, and then I'm going to switch over to the back road, so I'm just going to let the engine warm up a little bit, and then I'll give her a couple of wide open throttle runs, like I usually do in my videos. Right now, I'm just kind of taking it easy. Some other things worth mentioning. I guess there was a lot of talk about a new tune that was out, like an actual Subaru stock tune that the dealership could flash onto your ECU, and I thought about getting it because I guess the comments I see online were that it will kind of allow you to get more power into higher RPMs and the power won't drop down. But I was watching a video from Last Man's Garage, which is another great YouTuber who's got a fantastic assortment of videos of the 2015 Subaru that he also owns. And he mentioned that he got it flashed, and he said that like instant throttle response that I actually like, and he does too, is actually kind of gone when you flash to the newer ECU upgrade, like firmware. And for that reason, I kind of didn't want to get it. I guess some people said it's almost like having the Stage 1 tune. But I decided after watching Last Man's Garage video that I didn't want to get the tune or the ECU upgrade. So something I thought about, but I wanted to mention that. I kind of like the instant throttle response, like where you just basically your throttle is very sensitive. But I've gotten so used to it that I actually like the instant throttle response that the stock tune has. And now this was only for the earlier model Subarus. I got mine I got mine June of 2014, and I think the earlier models had it. But then once the 2016 models came out, they came out with obviously the newer firmware. So pretty much stuck with it, I guess. But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Adjust the camera a little bit. now that they got the engine warmed up, I'll give her some pulls once I get to some clear roads and some not so slow drivers. So see how she runs. One thing is, in the wintertime, this car definitely has the rattles that I always were annoyed about in the colder temperatures. I have to say, for 2015 model, it's kind of disappointing how many rattles this car has. But I guess that's just what you expect out of those Subarus, so that's, you know, just gotta live with it. In the summertime, I totally forgot about it because you just don't hear it. In the wintertime, it kind of comes back and gets a little annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. Still pulls nicely. Fortunately, there seems to be a lot of people on the road, so to find a good clear spot, I can hopefully get on it a little bit. I haven't even driven it hard for a while, so it was kind of, it felt really good to do that. It's been a while. You'll drive the car for a while, you kind of forget how fast it is, even in the higher gears, it still pulls nicely. What a rush. one thing about winter is you definitely get the bad winter roads. I'm gonna let these cars get ahead of me. I'll need some time until I turn. Oh, I didn't take long to catch up to traffic. Well, fortunately, I might have to find another day or a different time of day to do these pulls because it seems like there's a lot of traffic out right now. But I'm glad I could say hi again and start making some more videos. I guess for me, I'll make a bunch of videos and then I'll just take a break. And now I'm kind of like back in that little time zone where I'm going to make more videos again. So that's probably what I usually do is I'll take a break and not make any videos, and then I kind of get back at it and start recording. I'm going to try again at this light up here and hopefully get some luck. And the handling is kind of fluffy to describe it. Like it just doesn't handle as good as it does with the summer tires. But obviously, winter time, that's the payoff that you have to do when you get up winter tires. So even that turn, I was probably going that fast, probably 20. I could feel the car. Well, mainly because the sidewall, the tires are softer, but you can definitely feel the body roll, which is almost non-existent in the summertime.